live. Happy Black History Month, Hey House World. If we are just meeting for the first time, I am Abiola Abrams. I am the author of African Goddess Initiation, Sacred Rituals for Self-Love, Prosperity, and Joy. This was my first Hey House book. I am working on, I'm in the Secret Goddess Lab, working on a new book and deck for you. This is my first deck with Hay House. I had some previously, but this is my first deck with Hay House. And incidentally, my favorite goddess deck, African Goddess Rising Oracle deck. And I'm so excited about today's conversation. So if you're watching, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to, Black History Month. Why is this conversation for me? Stay right here. Keep your cute booty in the seat because Black history is a part of all history. So speaking for my country as, an American person, Black history is American history. If you're Canadian, African Canadian history is part of Canadian history. Black history is all of our history. So we are here today talking about enoughness. I felt like this was the most important conversation that we all could have when it comes to what do we talk about together. Yay! So I can see Goddess Marilyn from New York City. I can maybe see you out of my window. Hey, Goddess Marilyn, my neighbor. Hello, Goddess Diana. She says, happy day. Hello. That's a goddess name. I have a sister named Diana. Hello, Goddess Tangela. She says, I love your deck. Thank you, Goddess Tangela, for manifesting it. And hello, Goddess Christy. So we are talking about enoughness. Please hit the share button, put some positivity on your timeline. Let's bring some folks into the room. And let me know in the chat, because we all know and we hear that, you are enough, that we are enough, that we are inherently enough. And still we all have these limiting beliefs, these blocks that keep us from our enoughness. So I wanted to have an honest and frank conversation with all of you. Hello, Montreal. I got family there. Yay. Bonjour. So I wanted to have a frank conversation with you about enoughness, because we all know that happiness is an inside job. But we have been sold a bill of goods, and we're taught in school for 18 years and beyond that we need things, we need relationships, we need all of this external stuff to make us feel happy, all of this external stuff to make us feel like enough. So let's have an honest conversation. Let me know in the comments what it is that makes you personally feel like you are enough. What makes you feel like you're enough? And while you type that, I'm going to share something, Goddess Diana from Montreal. So my French speaking folks, this deck just came out yesterday. It is the same deck as this, but it's the French version. So this is particularly for my French speaking folks or people who just want the French version of the deck. Same deck, but all completely in French. So Goddess Diana, that is for you and all of my French speaking family. Yes. So some of the things, the external things that we think we need to make us feel like we're enough. Sometimes people feel like, it's their body. When I lose weight or I gain weight or I gain muscle, that makes me feel like enough. Some people feel like it is their partner relationship, their significant other, their husband or their wife or their boyfriend or their girlfriend, or being engaged or married or being not engaged or married influences feeling like enough, feeling like you're enough. Some people feel like it's accomplishment. I had this for a long time as a recovering people pleaser, especially. Let me know if you have the disease to please. Put PP if you've dealt with the people pleasing disease in the comments. PP if you've dealt with the disease to please. Yes. Yes, if you've dealt with the disease to please. So a lot of us have the feeling of accomplishment makes us feel like we are enough. Yes, I see you, PP. Yes, people pleasing. That when we accomplish certain things, when we, when we were kids and our parents would brag on us and be like, oh, my daughter, she did this, she got these grades, she got into this school, she's in blah, 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 blah. And they're just doing it out of love. But it helped us to develop a lie within our minds that these external things were the validation that make us feel like we are enough. Goddess Catherine says, I am a recovering people pleaser. Hello, my goddess sister, and working on feeling like I am enough. Yes, I see you and I feel you with that, and like I said, with relationships, for some of us, we develop codependent relationships, unhealthy relationships. We mirror our relationships that we had, that we saw in our formative years. I know that's a challenge that I had dealt with, feeling like enough, feeling like we are enough. Or being able to say, oh, my husband did, my partner did, the feeling of competition, that we're fed a lie that we are all in competition with each other. And the truth is that you cannot miss your greatness. Type into the comments, I cannot miss my greatness. I am my greatness. I am great. And that's why, rather than just us talking about, just chanting the affirmation, I am enough, which is powerful in and of itself, type into the comments, I am enough. Even if you're watching this on replay, don't worry about what other people think. Type into the comments, I am enough. I am great. Yes. Yes. These external things, these external value systems, some of us are taught that it's our home or our car. Let me know if that is a way that you were taught, that, your home or your car, the external things, the clothes that we wear, the way your hair looks, right? We feel good when we look a certain way or don't look a certain way. Well, you cannot miss your greatness. I had a question from an older woman who was interviewing me a short while ago. Yes, yes, Goddess Kim, I am enough. Yes, Goddess Tangela, I cannot miss my greatness. Yes, Goddess Carolyn, I am enough. I am great. Yes, Goddess Christina, I am enough. I had a question from an older woman who was interviewing me recently, some short time ago, and she said she didn't grow up with, as most of us who are on the line grew up with, people telling us, you could do anything, you could do anything and just love yourself, even though they didn't tell us how, because they didn't know. It's okay, they didn't tell us how because they didn't know, and now we get to reparent ourselves and figure it out. But we at least had that baseline of growing up with someone saying, you can be what you want, you can do what you want to some degree, whatever tiny bit or larger bit that may have been for you. And so for her, when I talked to her about self-love, she said, well, isn't that arrogance? Is it arrogance? What is, if we're loving on ourselves, how are we feeling about other people and about the world? It felt to her like a bit of arrogance. And so I want to just affirm for all of us who are here in the room, because a lot of us have that limiting belief that, somehow that love is, there's only but this much, right? There's but this much love to go around. And so if you spend that love like money on yourself, then there's not enough for other people. Or if you shine too brightly, ooh, okay, I felt that ricochet around our goddess universe. Fear of shining too brightly. Somehow you are outshining the tribe, the community. You're outshining each other. Type into the comments outshining if that is a fear that you had, even if you're just discovering it right now. Fear of only being able to shine but so brightly. You're not allowed to shine as bright as you can. Type in outshining if this is something that you have dealt with. You can only shine but so brightly. So you got to hold yourself back. You can only, show up just as instead of the bright, magical, wonderful, shining star that you are. And I know that you're a shining star because I called energetically to this room. I said, okay, we're calling in the spiritual women leaders. We're calling in the big vision women. We're calling in the bright, shiny souls and spirits. We're calling you in. So I know that you are all here. Yes. And that priestess energy, you see the link for my retreat, priestess of power. The priestesses are here. Yes. Outshining. We're told that you can shine, be whoever you want, whatever you want, but Don't shine too brightly. Don't be too big. Don't be too bright. We have in a lot of cultures, the idea of if someone shines too brightly, that, they've got to be ripped back down. In Australian culture, they call it the tall poppy syndrome. The tallest poppy, you've got to rip it back down. In my culture, in African American culture, we talk about crabs in a barrel, that, crabs are always trying to pull each other back. If you put crabs in a barrel, you're trying to pull each other back so that, we all are at the same place. But crabs were never meant to be in a barrel. You were never meant to be constrained and be held back. All of you, Goddess Julie, Goddess Catherine, Goddess Jennifer, Goddess Christina, Goddess Carolyn, Goddess Kim, we were born to shine. Type into the comments, we were born to shine. When I look at my baby girl, and she's 13 months now, and, she's stepping into her toddlerhood, so those tantrums are beginning. But when I look at her, with whatever she's doing, whether she's having a good moment or she's having a frustrated moment, she is just so perfect and so magical and so bright and so shiny, because we were born to shine. Goddess Catherine says, I was never allowed to outshine my family. They always had to have center stage. And so what happens when we are taught, whatever way that lesson showed up for us? Thank you for sharing that, my beautiful goddess sister. Whatever way that lesson shows up, for some of us, it starts with the little, rhymes that they used to have back in the days. What are little girls made of? Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of. That's what you should be. Sugar and spice. Sugar and spice would never outshine. Sugar and spice would be very sweet. Sugar and spice would never step on anyone's toes. Sugar and spice would never make waves. We were born to shine, and sometimes that shine is wave making. Type into the comments, wave making. Don't worry about the spelling. Just type it in the comments, wave making. If you were born to make waves. Yes, wave making. Goddess Christina says, somebody might have been upset if we shined. Yes, if we shine too brightly. No. Well, we are now reclaiming the shine. Type into the comments, reclaim the shine. Reclaim the shine. And I want to give you a sacred invitation, if you are on this call, to come hang out with me in Belize, where we are reclaiming the shine in June at the Priestess of Power Retreat. If you are asking if this journey is for you, if you can hear my voice, this journey is for you. The Priestess of Power Retreat. We are reclaiming the shine, because that is inherently who we are. That is inherently who we are. And so what that means is that, yes, some people will be uncomfortable with who we are. Yes, some people will be uncomfortable with who we are becoming and stepping into. I see some of my beautiful Goddess Retreat sisters here. Goddess Latoya is going to be there reclaiming the shine. Yes, I see you, Goddess. I see some of the goddesses who are going to be on that beach in Tobago when we are on that beach at midnight having our summer solstice rituals, and we are in the jungle with the Mayan healer reclaiming the shine. Yes, we are reclaiming the shine, because this is who we are. And so, you could do a test. I don't recommend it, but we as a culture of human beings, those of us who grew up particularly in Western culture, US, Canadian culture, etc., you walk into a room, and if you walked into the room and said, oh, I feel so sad, and you're complaining and you felt miserable, people would relate to that. People would go, oh, okay. But then when you walk into a room and you're at your brightest and your shiniest, people feel like, well, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with her? Why is she like that? Why is she so happy? You are reclaiming the shine, because you are reclaiming your joy, because you are reclaiming your pleasure, because you are reclaiming your truth. And that is what it means to step into and to own your divine feminine power. And I was so glad when Hay House told me, gave me this offer to come and do this takeover with you, because I feel like now more than ever, as we are dominated by news of all of the things that are not working out and all of the things that are going wrong, that it's easy to get into a place where we think that is the normal. Misery is the norm. And meanwhile, we're missing our lives. We're missing our lives. I remember when the pandemic started and I went to my parents' house and I stayed there 8 months, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just wait this out. And what I didn't consider at the time, yeah, how's that going, right? What I didn't consider at the time is the reminder that, when we're waiting things out, waiting to get the job, waiting to get the man, waiting to get the body, waiting to get the whatever, waiting to get the money, when you're waiting it out, you're missing your life. Our life is in the tiny days and the tiny details. Our life is in the moments. And you don't want to spend your whole life where you're trying to gain and lose the same 50 pounds your whole life, or gain and fix the same debt, or paying competing with the neighbor for who has the biggest car and the biggest house and all of that. No, you are bright and shiny and magical and priestess and goddess energy, no matter what. Type into the comments, no matter what. And all of the things that we desire, all of the things that, make our yoni go, oh, yes, all of the things that feel good, whether it is, traveling with me to the Priestess of Power retreat, getting the perfect job, or starting your business the way that it should start, or whatever it is, all of those things, you already have them. It's just you aligning with you catching up with you. So the way that we've been taught to manifest, which is calling things in that are separate from us, is erroneous. I'm going to do a correction. And I taught manifesting that way for many years as well. But what I found out as I go deeper into my ancestral spiritual studies is that no, it all exists. You're already rich. Type into the comments, already rich. You're already rich. You're already perfect. Type into the comments, already perfect. You're already sexy. Type in the comments, already sexy. Your body is already hot. Type into the comments, already hot. You're already loved, loved, loved. Type into the comments, already loved, already loved, already loved. And it's just now you catching up with you. You coming into alignment, yes, with who you really are. Yes, rich, perfect, sexy. Goddess Christy typed into the comments. Yes, Goddess Carolyn typed already rich, already perfect, already sexy, already loved, already loved. And so as you come more into alignment with yourself, with your truth, with who you really are, then it starts to make sense that things that didn't work out in the past, the relationships that didn't work out, or the job that fired you or laid you off, or whatever it was, like, that's why that didn't work out, because I was meant for greater. Type into the comments, I was meant for greater. You were meant for greater. And that is what we are stepping into. That is what we're stepping into. And my mission with this work that we're doing here in this community of Hay House Sisters, with my courses and retreats and everything that I'm doing, with every bit of magic that I put into the world, my mission is for us to each spark each other, so that we each shine brighter and brighter and brighter. The sky and beyond is the limit, so that we are not taught the lie that only one of us can shine at any moment, or only one of us can be whatever. No, we can shine together, and we can be who we were born to be together, whatever shape or form that takes. So I'm going to pull a card for us that is going to be our sacred initiative going forward. Okay. And then you can come and hang with me on Sundays. I do live Sundays, Goddess Temple Sunday. You can also just subscribe to the Goddess Temple podcast. But I will be back on Hay House in a couple of weeks, and we'll do something like this. And then I'm going to be doing some readings from the audience. Okay. So let's see. What is our our sacred initiative going forward. Yes, we are enough. What? I am enough. I am more than enough. I am incredible. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. I am perfect and divine. And everything that you are, I am. Everything that I am, you are. Yes, perfect, sexy, rich. Yes, all of the things that we are told, are too much. Yeah, not enough. What? Too much. And I'm glad for that. Okay. All right. This makes sense. This makes a lot of sense here. Okay. So I wanted to pull one card, but actually three goddesses showed up for us. And with this deck, when you're reading from this deck and you're pulling, you're not pulling a card. You're pulling forward your own goddess energy reflected. You're pulling forward the energy of these ancient goddesses. And here is who showed up. And this goddess Marie Laveau, ancestral goddess, showed up with her good juju, and she was upside down. And in this deck, when a card is upside down, that means emphasis. And look, the goddesses of joy, the level up goddess who's saying level up, stand up, rise into yourself, and good juju. Like, that is a magical reading. I don't know if I've ever seen these three goddesses show up for us together like this in this way. All right. So this is your time. This is your moment. If you want to come clear some of those beliefs that hold you back from being you, there is the Priestess of Power retreat. But I have other offerings also. If you go to womanifesting.com, tons of freebies and good magic there for you. And oh my goodness, you, my sisters, are everything for me. So thank you. Thank you for being here. We are enough. Let's chant it today as you're walking forward in your life. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Thank you, Goddess Wadia. Hopefully I will see you at the Priestess of Power retreat. Saubona, my beautiful goddesses. And that means we see you. Yes, we are enough.